The release dates of Pokémon Go has been mismatched, and due to some naughty people downloading the APK to play early, there is now a power balance issue in the UK and other parts of the world. So, here's the fastest ways to catch up and even take over those who are already ahead. If you're new, one thing you'll quickly find out is how much this game drains battery. If you have a smaller phone or a worn out battery due to the age of your device, you'll be out of juice in just one session. If you have a phone like mine, you can consider purchasing a new battery pack. I had a 3300 mAh battery that was dying. It wouldn't last 3 hours of Pokemon going. I bought a 10,000 mAh battery and now I can play all day. If you can't do this, then a recharge pack is a great idea. You can even buy pretty cool accessories to make them look cool. There's light up cables for iPhones that shows lights flowing into your device, which looks awesome. Look around and I'm sure you can find something that could work for you. Maybe even theme it on your team of choice. Also, if you're traveling far, consider a stop-off point to quit playing, because being left with an empty phone in the middle of nowhere or an unfamiliar town is not a good situation to be in. When you hit a few Pokestops, you'll pick up eggs with varying distances. The lowest are 2km eggs, 5k in the middle, and 10k are the largest. You'll also have an incubator to hatch an egg with infinite uses, and if you want more, you can either come across some in Pokestops, gain them through leveling, or you can buy them. However, all the extras only have 3 uses. Now, what's the best way to manage this? Well, I found it's better to use your infinite incubator on the smaller eggs and your temporary ones on the largest. So, say if you have one 10k egg and 2 5k eggs. If you use your temporary incubator on the 10k, you can use your infinite one twice on the 5ks and you'll still have 2 charges left on the first incubator. Whereas, if you'd done it the other way, you'd only have 1 charge left. Managing these well are a great way to get the most out of these temporary items. Okay, this next tip is one that should be obvious, however it's easy not to do it as we've been trained by the games to not be like this. I'm talking about catching everything. In the games, it's normal to knock out everything you don't want or run away. But the function of Pokemon in Pokemon Go is slightly different, and it makes a world of difference to have as many as possible. And once you're at this stage, there's a further point on this list which will teach you how to shoot up in levels and send you ahead of the competition. But for now, catch them all. You know that circle that shrinks, resets, and shrinks again while catching Pokemon? Well, this actually does something. If you're catching a Pokemon and hit within the moving circle, you can either get a nice, great, or excellent. The latter being the hardest, worth 100 experience. You can also curve your shots by spinning the ball first. You may waste a lot of balls practicing these techniques, but once you get them down, these are very useful for that added bit of experience. It all adds up, and will benefit you in the long run if you can get these tricks down. Okay, so you're new, and there's level 15s and 20s and so on defending gyms with 4 Pokemon, and you're with your group of level 10 friends. It can seem daunting to take down a gym defended by Pokemon with CPs in the thousands, but there are ways. If you attack and do well, even if you lose, you can knock down the prestige of the gym. What is prestige? Well, this stat affects the gym's level. The level determines how many Pokemon can be in a gym. So, if there's 4 strong Pokemon in a gym, and you knock it down a level, bam, now there's only 3 to worry about. Keep doing this until there's only 1. And remember, this whole time you can use 6 Pokemon to attack. When there's only 1 left, it's easy to take it out and put yours in. Just make sure you have a lot of revives if you're doing this. You'll have a lot of fainted Pokemon to nurse better after each attempt. This next tip is relevant to the previous. However, if you're with a group of friends, you can do this even easier. You can attack gyms at the same time. This will give you a significant advantage when tackling strong Pokémon. You don't even have to be in the same team. I've attacked a red gym alongside someone from blue, and I'm in yellow. Though there may be a discrepancy on who takes it in the end. Until then, if you have an enemy team you want gone, you can worry about that later. Sometimes you don't even have to take down a gym too. You can knock it down to level 2 or 1, and it will open the once strong gym to vultures who can take on the easier challenge. Are you sick of seeing the same Pokémon all the time? I have pages of Pidgeys, Rattatas and Weedles. Well, try going out at different times. I found spots in my town that spawned loads of Scythers during the mid-afternoon, and a road that spawns Eevees then too. And at night, I see a lot of Drowsies and Ghastlies. Also, for me, I see more Caterpies and Krabbies at night too. Along with the whole terrain thing affecting what pops in your area, I've also heard weather affecting things too. There's so much to discover. But I will say, be safe, especially at night. I hate to say this, but be especially dubious of lures at night. There have been robberies on set by using lures as traps. Remember in point 8 when I told you to catch everything? Well, I hope you've been keeping up, because another addition is, don't evolve until you have enough to take it all the way. If you have a 50 CP Pidgey, you can evolve it to a Pidgeotto for 12 candies, and then it takes 50 candies to evolve to a Pidgeot, so that's 62 candies used. Now imagine you evolve to a Pidgeotto, and while saving for a Pidgeot, you catch a 76 CP Pidgey. Well, now you'd want that to be the Pidgeot, so you use what you've saved to evolve that. And saving again for 50 candy, you find an 86 Pidgey. The cycle keeps going because the higher level you are, the stronger Pokemon you'll find. So it's better to keep catching Pidgeys until you have the 62 candy needed. And by then, you'll have a wider selection of Pidgeys to evolve, and you can pick the cream of the crop. This next point is how to power level. If you want to catch up with everyone quick, this is going to be the thing to help you achieve it. So, you'll get to a point where you'll have a Pidgeot and other final evolutions of common Pokemon. This means you'll have batches of Pidgeys and lots of candies. Personally, I had over 150 Pidgey candy and over 200 Weedle candy and 150 Rattata candy. To evolve to the second evolution for these, it's only 12 candy, and when you evolve, it gives you a whopping 500 experience. If you have a lucky egg, which you can get by either buying one or when you reach certain levels, it doubles the experience you get. So you can pop an egg and evolve like crazy and soar through the early levels with ease. Note that using 50 candies to evolve Pokemon gives you the same experience, so just keep doing the first stage. Now, before I get to the last point, here's some real life tips for safety. If it's hot, you'll most likely be exposed to the sun a lot. Skin cancer is really becoming more common, and sunscreen is the best way to help prevent it. Also, keep hydrated. It's easy to forget and become lightheaded, and that's not a good situation to be in. If you're in a cold area, it's obvious, wrap up. And like I said before, always keep some charge in your phone for emergencies. Anyway, for the final point. If you're going to fully evolve your Pokemon, be conscious of their moves. Some Pokemon have their first attack as weak as 3 to 6 damage, and some have the highest of 15. This also applies to the stronger attack too. Some of the stronger attacks are only 15 damage or 25, which essentially makes them useless, where some are 50 damage. And when you have the type bonus, a super effective 50 can one-shot a Pokemon easily. If you have 2 close level Pokemon, and you can choose to evolve one, choose the strongest attack one, even if it's slightly weaker. If it's too weak, just wait until you get a stronger one. Honestly, it's worth the wait and makes a world of difference when battling gyms. Anyway, this has been a friendly message brought to you by Team Instinct. Now go forth, choose Team Instinct, and take over the world. Didn't expect that, did you? Yes, this video is Team Instinct propaganda. The yellow will rise. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this week's video, and if you did, leave a like. And if you want to see more in the future, subscribe. And if you want to see more lists now, click here for my top 10 darkest Pokemon entries, or here for my top 10 worst Pokemon moves.